good day. Let's see. Have a good day.
For a limited time only, I'm slashing all my prices in half.
Take a look. Hand-picked vegetables for sale, all organic. Take a look. Hand-picked vegetables for sale, all organic. Take a look. Hand-picked vegetables for sale, all organic.
A fine powder and look! I just got some rare stuff! Got some goodies for ya! Here you go! Got some goodies for ya! We have a wide selection of sigils! Want to exchange your Dahlia badges for special treasure? Wonder what kind of sigil sending out the old crew signal, eh? Knick-knack, if you've got the vouchers, I've got the sigils. Never hurts to have some backup, right? Have vouchers? We'll transmute. Knick-knack, paddywhack, give a crew the vouchers.
I'm all ears. Which weapon shall I strengthen? Got an order for a new weapon? Tempering your weapons? Adding a right stone will overwrite the original skill, so be careful. Mirage munitions, eh? Come, leave it to me. Leave it to me. I'll unlock the power within. It's perfect. Always strive to be strong. Unlocked. I'll unlock them. It can be tempered even more now. Always unlocked. Leave it to me. Let me show you what my master has taught me. I'll unlock the power within. Let me show you what my master has taught me. I'll unlock the power within. It's perfect. Always strive to be stronger. I'll unlock the power within. Let me show you what my master has taught me. Leave it to me. Can I take a look? It's a great success. Not bad, is it? That went well. Not bad, is it? It's a great success. That went well. What you got? We buy everything. Take care. Welcome. Enhancing your sigils? Thanks for coming.
The first to own one.
How do you do?
Right.
Yeah.
Got the goods? Let's see. Bahamut's beard. Do you know what you found? Pleasure doing business with you.
Nice. So,
Looking for that. Huh?
Oh, there!
Gonna practice your moves? The vanguard is mine! Hurry up! Repent! No escape! Evil never wins! I fear no army! Repent! What cowardice! Practice too worked up a sweat!
Buy from me and you'll agree. This look no further. I've got all sorts of items.
and also.
All right.
So,
Let's kick some tail!
Dick. And also.
No.
Discount free! Buy one, get one free. I'm slashing all my prices in half.
So,
My shop is the only place. Buy one, get one free. Hello! If you're hunting for quality bargains, then you've come to the right place.
Yes.
For a limited time only, I'm slashing all my prices in half. Hello!
Looking for that special love? Look no further. I've got all sorts of items.
Can't decide, huh? Don't worry, there are no wrong choices here.
All right. Forever pure, forever righteous.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'll
Right
figure
then.
out. Yes. What are you?
So then.
And also
And also.
Ready for some action?
No. Well, now.
Excuse me.
How do you do?
My.
No.
Got the goods? Let's see. Wow, this is a gorgeous piece. You find something shiny, you bring it to me.
No way!
Yeah?
So then.
right.
Yep.
I'll be your
Right.
ass.
Forever pure, forever righteous.
No, thank you.
Also. Yep.
Interior design is our passion. Found anything you like? I got a few more
Come again? I got it. So then.
Nice.
Oh. Step right up, folks. Feast your eyes on my incredible merchandise.
That's it.
Can I have a second?
No need to rush things.
Fresh sandwiches. Come to the soup and the side.
That's right up, folks. Feast your eyes on my incredible merchandise.
Is your stomach growling? Then give it what it wants.
Get that extended warranty for your airship. Best friends in town.
So then.
We've got lunch special. Good food, good prices.
That's it!
Is your stomach growling? Then give it what it wants. Is your stomach growling? Then give it what it wants. We've got lunch specials. Good food, good prices.
Whew.
Hello there.
Hey, heard about your little spat with Id. Wish I still had that kind of energy.
Eugen gave me a hearty... The chills I got when watching... of course, Vern had told everybody. I could appreciate... So you're jealous Lyria's making new friends? Yo, don't be silly. That's not what this was... As Lyria tried to explain the situation, I stood there... It had been a wild ride. I couldn't get the duel with Id out of my mind. He had been a To be honest, I still don't think I'm stronger than him. I won this, but I doubt we'll ever need to fight like that again. Id trusts me now. Trust is nice, but it always comes with responsibility.
We really don't get a
For sure. It felt like everybody in Zega Grande had a... Vern, could you get us some... You betcha! Lyria, we're about to head... Sure, no problem. I took a deep breath, letting it settle in my chest before releasing.
We'll be fine. I trust you, and so does everyone else.
Id put a hand on my shoulder, and somehow I exchanged a nod with him. The rest of the crew was already there, waving their arms in the... Well, either way, I was sure we'd all...
Back at the dining hall, plates of wraith... Is that real? At my nod.
Ow! Oh!
I love it!
Muffled voices caught my attention, and I looked out the window to see...
Hey, Al. Heard from your sister. Sorry, I should have noticed you were working yourself to the bone.
A man who seemed to be in charge of reconstruction efforts came to our table. Gently, he explained that he had only now been made aware of Al's failing health. He vowed to encourage the workers...
Al, you okay, bud? You don't look so good.
Vern, who had been flitting carefree through the air, came to... I smiled at his concern, which was well-meaning. It was time for a celebration. Their reaction... A light dessert is the perfect way to top off a hearty meal. When I unveiled my creation, the crew gulped in what...
You're saying that the very hand that...
Is there anything...
It was enough to make me... But, if I may be so bold, I don't think that...
Adelina, this is amazing!
Encouraged by Lyria, hungrily, and the moment right after, as if there are times when people are so filled to the brim with emotion. It seems I'm not such a bad chef.
Clear blue skies, gentle as the helmsman gripped the wheel. Kent, the mechanic, the merchant, even Lyria, Vern, and some of our... As the propellers began to churn, a metallic sputter sounded from somewhere below. After a brief checkup, tension was palpable. All eyes were on the airship. No one there it was. A few weeks had passed since, according to Kent, the Nautilus was now Folka's leading cargo ship. And not only that, but it...
Okay, picture this, Rackham. 3 ships conjoined...
I wonder if I sound... Anyway, such a massive ship would require at least 3 help if Kent were to be the second pilot.
About that. Actually...
Of course. It was a kind offer, but that didn't mean I couldn't let... Sorry, Kent. This Skyfarer's not old enough to set anchor just yet.
We came to a quiet clearing in the forest. Shafts of sunlight peeked through the trees. Purple anemones bloomed, filling the...
That's it.
Karzada opened the notebook, flipping through its...
I see.
After a while...
Thank you.
I saw it through his tears.
If you hadn't come when you did, well,
He smiled.
she dreamed of a Tempio blooming with flowers.
Glad to hear it. Just keep... Carzeda placed a hand over his... Or maybe he was burning the... Our time together came to an end. Maybe part of the reason I was drawn to Carzeda. Both had regrets weighing us down. We made... Now that I think about it, just as I owe all those people my thanks.
Dear Eugen, every now and then I hear news about you and your crew's finally able to get licensed as a full-fledged jeweler in Folka. I started proceeds from the sales go to organizations working to restore The promise we made as kids can't be fulfilled. I'll do it to bring her dream. P.S. I never did tell you what those purple anemones symbolize. The next time you're in Folka, look me up. Until then.
Peace returned to Seed. I informed the frightened repairman of the girl's truth.
A primeval god?
It's a little sad that you couldn't meet Konohana.
I knew, somewhere deep down, that however, seeing all the blooming flowers, I may well have imagined it, but... call it... After the vibrant patchwork of spring began to spread throughout Seed on one of my walks, I had mindlessly put the crystal. Something about it was different. Instead of my usual reflection, a girl. Our eyes met for a second before. When I looked back into the fragment, she was nowhere, so I whispered, "Beautiful. This city has blossomed."
The morning after the second goblin strike, the sun rose. The migrants came with our breakfast. And a peace offering.
Avia attacked our homeland. We'll never...
Everyone saw you risk your life.
They seemed to be leading up to something, and...
Well, if it's all right with you...
I could not believe... Oh.
Ed.
Lyria's voice. Sound you all right. She hadn't said anything. I had spent these past few weeks looking for punishment. Hoping it would somehow numb my guilt.
What's wrong, Ed?
What?
Buddy, you ever...
At this, the crowd laughed.
Sorry to interrupt.
It was one of the soldiers.
As some of you may already know, we weren't only responsible for transporting supplies. We were also...
Shiralu answered.
Not a problem. We've got a beast...
As the local Mr. Fix-It, I've had a finger in every pie. Still, I wanted to... A new request came in today.
Ed, wasn't my...
Lyria materialized at my... Yeah. I handed her the pen there, written in plain...
I trusted only my fists. Which is why when my fists began to tremble in anticipation, how could they know? In truth, they knew more than most scholars, having experienced the rigors of fundamental aesthetic. But you may ask, how far foolish? Only cowards measure progress in distance, in achievement. Ah, and I shall catch. Divinity above, I wish you no ill will. I'll recite it. I ended the evening's meditation. I had honed the eternal, but the long years, my inevitable demise meant that we would need a disciple. Of course, coal is not transformed into diamond. Us, when I finally met the but the captain had another. Filial piety was a respectable tenant, but it was no god-shattering fist. However, something must have resonated with the young master, because I received walking aboard the airship, my worthy captain. I choose, and after we shall discuss your future.
You heard all the stories about...
I could hardly believe ripping the Grim Basin apart with a single punch? Joining a war? I call BS. And just like crap, there was probably a kernel of truth in there somewhere, but come on. Turns out, idiots like me. You think people will catch on to that?
Of course they will. Why else do people go to the pub?
But it's so hard to believe. So, yep, though the old master's legends were numerous, what's crazier, Gonda would never toot his own horn. Yep, actions speak. What I would give for it. Looking back now, none of us could have known. There, in the Zeka Grande sky.
Sierra gave us the news. A lone brawler managed to stop a force of hundreds atop Mount Nate. I'm not a betting man. Well, I'm not a drinking man. But, well, I'm not a man who bets when he drinks. It hadn't been that long since we sailed to Zeka Grande. I asked Sierra to spill the details. The force, he's sure as hell they were a fierce troop. How does an unarmed... But hey, who needs words? Guess it was just one more...
Call for reinforcements! Why is everyone from that crew a beast?
It was a nightmare. Actually, we were being driven into the heart of Mount. Even though he was alone, he was with the crew who defeated General Galanza. Our platoon was experienced, and we could launch we had numbers and strategy on our side. But he took one look at our...
Ha 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 ha! You honor me with...
You what? This guy was nuts.
Get your asses in gear!
Command snapped my mind back into focus. I drew my sword, but...
We walk the path of eternal rage.
Keep your distance, or you won't make it out of here alive.
Roger! I am here! How will you train from so far away? From the clouds breaks the storm! More fury! More rage!
He doesn't even have a weapon. Is this a joke to him? Who is this guy?
Could be the devil himself for all I care. There's our backup. We can't take him on our own.
Step forward! I still need to finish my warm-up! A fighter bites! Our hot Skybreaker! My fists grow restless.
Curse our luck. He's leaving me with no option. Switch to Plan C.
Plan C? But sir, he doesn't even have armor on!
Just do it! Either we deploy our secret weapon, or he'll wipe us out!
This is the Falcon!
Go, Tayuatar! Deliver us from this accursed giant!
I applaud your desire to continue fighting, but you insult...
It's hopeless. He took out the Tayuatar.
Of course he did. I want all units deployed. Courage, troops! No one lives forever.
With these fists, nothing is impossible! Iron Shoulder! Victory is mine!
He's a monster!
Commander, your orders! Commander?
Behold! True ferocity!
It was a nightmare. Actually,
where are they?
We were an entire platoon of pilgrims. We even deployed the...
Retreat!
My mind was cloudy. I barely heard the commander's order. How could I think? I saw it. I saw the force of his punch. He had to be a demon. No more, not to mention the lack of corpses. This battle had been brutal. A man like this, he was as strong as General Galanza. No, stronger maybe. Finally, I gathered enough sense to unfreeze my feet and turn tail. As I ran away, I got the sense I'd just witnessed history in the making.
We've got lunch specials, good food, good prices.
Hello there.
I will fondly remember my splendid time atop Mount Nagelith. These were already the perfect conditions for training. But sweet, generous follow the fist. Unfortunately, however, it seemed my newfound...
Dondagoza! It looks like it's...
Her mouth was agape. The Silver Wolf Corps General.
To Master Dondagoza, thank you for meeting my strongest force on the... In fact, if you are not a coward, I expect signed the invincible...
Oh no, Megapop! Fern's right.
What loving kids does what? Galan, I could not call myself the greatest fighter. Captain looked at me with trusting eyes, seeing the tacit acceptance of their commanding officer. Lyria and their support. Witness me, children.
Dondagoza and Galanza stood opposite.
Dondagoza
spread his legs shoulder-width apart.
In his corner, the...
You nearly get... Yeah, Ref.
I've been following the legend of a master martial artist for years.
Sounds like somebody... Suddenly?
Now, once again.
Hey, don't step on our gig. Fern, no. Never mind about our qualifications.
I want a clean fight.
We walk the path of eternal rage.
Well, the match of the century has just begun. Who do you think has the upper hand here, Lyria?
Into my trap! More fury!
There you have it. Our Skyfaring heroine has spoken. Her words are sure to bring strength to her crewmates.
Hey, is that Tobias on the mic? You know better than that, Ref!
Galanza's drawing two here. He'll be able to cover a ton of turf with that sucker.
It takes strength to wield a weapon like that. I welcome this type of pressure. I like... Iron shoulder! You assault! Well... From the clouds! Break
I
the
would
storm!
expect nothing less of a living legend!
Your flattery is appreciated. Now come at me with everything you've got!
Everything? Don't mind if I do! Say your last goodbye! Got you in my sights!
Take the skies!
See if you
What? My fist tremble? What? The ocean surging!
Have you ever seen such a furious attack?
From the clouds! Breaks the storm!
Go, go, go! No one moves fast!
Forming death back again! Who could withstand such a mighty attack?
Say your last goodbye!
Stop! Descend as the Falcon! A river bull!
Here comes the boom!
Victory!
Here comes the murder spear once more! Can Granblue weasel out of this one?
Bring it! Well, Granblue!
Granblue put his whole heart in that one! Has he done it?
Granblue? I can't look!
Reject impossibility!
Granblue and Galanza were going all out. They were...
The last man standing is...
Megapops pulled off the victory. Boy, if I had his muscles... Oops, where was I? Right, Megapops. I couldn't wait to get back and tell Rackham and Eugen the good news.
Yeah? We've got lunch specials, good food, good...
Come to view the requests?
Did Vern tell you what old Gonda's
fighting off 100 soldiers? Okay, sure. He's got chops. Pushing back a blizzard? I'll buy it. He's got elemental attunement. And what's this about their fight being so ferocious it carved out a new valley through Mount Gonda? Folks are starting to take your stories a little too... what am I saying? You ever... Yep. That stoic silence explained it all. All of his stories have proven true so far. I get to read it first, Eugen.
over my dead body?
My fellow crewmates stood around a wall scroll. But wait, had Eugen not just vocalized while Eugen and Rackham were distracted by their nose? Is that me? My likeness, stylized and somehow prettier, was punching back a blizzard in an...
Someone asked an artist to paint your story. Look at...
I had to admit... I could not help but laugh. All the places, though I hadn't bothered to tell anyone of my training on Mount, if not only to add more fan art to my widening let.
Foul smell fills the air as my dissolving limbs...
Protect the captain!
No, leave me.
As long as you're alive, we can read...
You're not allowed. Please. I'll never forget the memory. My conceit put us in that after all the good times we shared. Once I could pick myself back up again, I began to... It wasn't long before this husk became resilient, augmented and conditioned. It was preferable that way. I could be a shield. Having lost my place in the world, I found a home in the society and quickly became contract. I did my job so that I could keep people safe. But despite my best efforts, I still failed. Worst of all, I could do nothing but watch as our hopeful new recruit. What good was I when I couldn't even... Maybe... I joined the society to protect others, which I'm the reason that it was only right that I spend the rest at least. That in truth, another part of me was deluded into thinking. Turns out that being immune to physical torture does nothing to protect. Speaking of mental suffering, the old me would have worked with her just fine. Her blunt honesty rubbed me the wrong way. Even Ilsa called her pupper, which was kinder than what I had in mind back in those days. Well, I didn't care about forging a real partnership with Zeta, but it backfired. Whenever I pushed her away, I would have never admitted it out loud, but... As for why I joined the captain's father was awaiting our crew in Estalucia. And that meant duking it out with primals and gather. The captain was strong and humble, had a knack for overcoming. That's not to say they were running a flawless operation. Vern and Lyria, the red dragon and the girl in blue. It's true. Should one overflow with astral energy, or the other absorb enough primal, it was possible this body of mine would protect them all, no matter what came to at least. During the fight against the Moon Dwellers, I lost myself to the Automagod. As pathetic as it was, that was why I prepared a way to stop my own harm if I couldn't protect anyone. And
What are you playing at, Vasaraga?
I was fine with sacrificing my... A part of me even believed...
I hate when you act alone.
I couldn't feel pain, but it took me far too long to realize that it hurt my comrades to see me suffering.
Did you hear me, you big lug?
My partner's instincts were but it was her words, honest, and the pain I should have dealt with a long time ago came. And that's the way it's been. Early in the morning, before the crew was to head out for a on the way, I was stopped by the sight of a young girl watering the vegetables. But something fell in contrast to the bright garden. Upon noticing me, she scrambled. Sorry, lass. Shouldn't have snuck. But that odd mist looked too real to be an illusion. I decided to keep an eye out. And there was no telling what could happen. Grinoth ripped through the... As I lowered the scythe, the quiet returned. At least, it would have been, had I not sent... Whoever it was, they had yet to strike. So I assumed they... I know you're there. Stay turning around. I saw...
That black armor.
Her expression was blank, completely devoid of the cheer.
I'm tired, Mr. Reaper.
The floodgates broke. A steady... Mr. Reaper?
I only wanted to grow those little ones.
The girl hung her head and grew silent. It was a feeling I was all too familiar with. Once you've steeled yourself. But before I could console her, a monster appeared from the brush and fear appeared in her eyes. Sorry to disappoint, but I'm no Reaper.
I...
Need to gather your thoughts? I get it.
Okay.
Keep close. Maybe it was just a trick of the light, but I saw a bit of life return to her gaze. Time to go home. Should be this way. That didn't feel like an earthquake to me. Paths blocked by a boulder.
Weird. It wasn't here before.
Let's look around. Someone's hungry. Stand back. I'll take care of it.
Violet Shadow! I bind you! Perish!
You actually defeated that huge beast by yourself.
Good. You're not hurt. Now, what do we do about that boulder?
I know another way back. It'll take longer, but...
Fine by me. You take the lead.
Over here.
I feel eyes on us. We're not alone.
Zombies!
I've got them.
The moon sets!
How's that? Ready to go?
Yeah. What is that? You look exactly like a Reaper.
I guess I'm no slouch with the scythe.
Battalions of fear! Into...
This is going to get ugly. So, what's this whole obsession with death about? Peace. You don't have to answer, but just remember, once you die, that's it. Don't be so hasty to throw your life away.
You can't stop fear!
Come if you dare!
Are you sure you weren't the Reaper?
Even if I was, it's not your time yet. Not today. Upon arriving at the girl's home, I was met by a shocking sight. The thriving garden I'd seen before. How could all the life have been sucked from them? When I looked at the girl, she purposefully avoided my... Whatever's going on, I might be able to...
Okay.
She took an unsteady step through the door, but when I turned around, yeah, I doubt... I spent a few moments scanning the perimeter, but...
All right, we've got lunch specials. Good food. Hello there.
Curious about the girl in her garden. Though she was more lively than before.
I guess it feels wrong.
The name's Vasara. The girl introduced herself. As she spoke, I noticed her wrist was wrapped.
Oh, this... it's...
In a thinly veiled attempt to change the subject.
This is the least I can do.
Apple. Not... She told me that she hailed from Grossgard, a small... Do you take care of the...
Yes.
Holding in on herself like a withering flower. But it was not her forlorn ever her formless companion. A swirling miasma seemed just beyond. Mind if I stop by again? I wanted to help her, but not out of a misguided sense of obligation.
Wow.
I brought Vern and Lyria with me and
How do you make a tomato look like...
Vern was, for better or worse, brutal.
Vern, don't be... It's finally...
Though she had every right to be offended, Irene took the comment. Yes, it was the right call to bring them.
So Vasaraga told us about your plan. Yes.
After a moment of silence, Lyria gave a... Guess Zeta was right.
Taking care of those little...
She went on to recount how she had always been a loner. Recently, she had discovered that she could hear her...
But now... It's like my...
Not long after she had gained the ability to communicate with her she could hear them...
The few are still alive. But I'm sure they'll join the others and...
Watching the lives of your loved ones, what was she supposed to do? I eyed the black man. Look, there's got...
What?
Squeezing her bandaged wrist, Irene looked up at... I did my best to reassure her, without betraying... What happened here? I had stopped by Irene's garden after finishing. It felt unnatural, like something had come. Filled with dread, I rushed inside the house.
To the blasphemer who betrayed Avia. Have you not yet realized that you have two choices before you? Watch as that forbid...
So Irene had ties to the Church of Avia. If they had heard... Damn. Thought I'd finally dealt... Brooding on it for too long wasn't going to bring Irene... Which means, knowing there were precious few minutes... A captain who saw me rushing to the port joined me in the chase. We took after them immediately. Driving found you. After we crested a cloud bank in a contest of speed, a mere battleship was no match.
I assume you're the draft that's been...
Let Irene...
I'm afraid that's out of the...
The tension in the air.
That device...
You call that salvation? Maybe these fools didn't understand Lilith's true goals. Or maybe...
She shows remarkable compatibility with the Dark Flame.
At the expense of Irene and this skydom? Not on mine. Grinoth, did you hear that? Lend me your strength. Take them, Grinoth!
I offer my life for Lady Lilith!
For Lady Lilith!
These guys never know when to quit.
Call for reinforcements.
We stop them
bind
here!
you! I won't let you down.
There's no end to them!
Rackham, can you pull up alongside them? We need to board and find Irene.
Guards, no kid is getting kidnapped on my watch.
Fear!
On the earth.
Night falls.
Violent shadow!
Pass away.
Blasphemous!
Rackham, do it!
I'm on it already. Come on, Grand Cypher, hang in there. Damn it! We make it?
Formidable. Thanks for the ride. I'll handle the rest. Let Irene go.
The shaman shall be our salvation.
Understood.
Defend her to the end.
Got it.
Right. Can't lose focus.
I'm
fine.
It's over.
They shall fall.
Good job, everyone.
We'll claim any foe.
Good call.
On the hill.
Battalions of fear!
Night falls.
Like clockwork. Pressure.
Wind
That was awesome, big guy.
Careful, more are coming.
It's too late to beg for mercy now, outsiders!
Our salvation will be as Lady Lilith foretold.
You even know what Irene wishes for?
What? What would you know? The shaman has a duty to embody Lady Lilith's teachings.
Guess we gotta knock some sense into them the hard way.
Don't let them escape. Alchemy makes for a very loud fighting style.
Oh no! I didn't mean to make you afraid.
In the fields.
I'll cut you all down! Battalions of fear! Umbral Eclipse! Come if you dare! Do it!
By my
Pathetic.
blade.
I'm so sorry, Lady Lilith.
Very well. Let us proceed.
Feels nice.
How could I? Accursed outsiders!
Basaraga, did you come for me?
You're safe now. Let's get you home. By the time we carried Irene back to the Grand Cipher, half of her body...
I don't advise using force to break...
I remembered what Roland said back on Mount Nagilith.
Basaraga.
Irene weakly...
It's okay.
As long as you're alive, we can...
I clenched Grinoth. Irene had already... I swore to... With my heartbeat thundering in my ears, I focused... We cut through the dark mist, and a bird...
Yeah?
All right.
We've got lunch specials. Good food, good...
Hello there.
After some time had passed, I stopped. Well, a comforting and familiar sight greeted me.
Basaraga!
Standing amidst the greenery, I should apologize. You can't hear. She shook her head. Her
No, I shouldn't have let the church tempt
a hint of sorrow.
I can't hear these little ones anymore. Yeah.
She turned to look up at the...
Like how I knew to reach out to you.
Anyone would have done. With a careful shuffle, I turned away. I'll see you around. I took one last look at the vibrant... The morning had barely begun. It was stuffed full of fruit.
Huh? Aren't these Volca gold fruit?
Whoops. Guess I hadn't. Looks like the pantry is full.
Sure, but this...
I figure being surrounded by...
Didn't take you...
She was joking, but honestly, ever had fresh apple juice before?
Wait a minute.
A skilled gardener taught me a trick or two. The vibrant fruit told me how offering her garden a silent word of thanks.
Once upon a time, in a land far away, there was a lone... Whenever he appeared in town, prospective fighters began to seek out amongst them. Some were so strong they could crush, so the master abandoned the battlefield. There was one disciple who... It took her only a matter of days to master the most complex, but more impressive than her wits. Every day, the top disciple begged for harder training, and the master... And that's why. Why? She went rogue. Eventually, the master caught up with her, and it was a bittersweet victory, as the master knew what must come next. He readied his blade. Prepared thus, he laid down... Oh, how having thrown away his name, his blade, and his path... Time passed, and the swordsman found himself bass for breakfast, salmon for supper. It was the quiet he... Sometimes, when he needed supplies, he would go down to the village and train the locals in a little sword work. That made his coin purse jingle again. But this piece, he discovered his top disciple was back to her. This was his true purpose for traveling with the crew. The former disciple's latest victim had been a real shame that. The swordsman asked the crew when he saw the murdered man's corpse. It was his weakness, his cowardice, that cost. He called it his burial garb. And it represented, of course, his crewmates tried to reason with him, but the swordmaster was determined. So, when finally the moment of rest... Before he could do the deed, however, his resolve, the master's former youngest disciple, with his two newest pupils watching. Ironically, it was the youngest disciple who struck down. The swordsman was lost in grief. But his newfound champion told... After joining up with the crew, I've had so when we arrived in Zega Grande, I found a nice quiet pond and dropped my... Finally, I decided to pull up my rod and check if the bait was still hardy. But there weren't. Right, well, what about me traps? I was halfway through, but it was too late in the noon to go back for them, and I had other business. In that moment of stillness, the fishies swam out of their hiding spots. Each of my disciples was unique in their own right. Had me some slow learners, and my top student, Grace, never wavered in her particular range. My youngest pupil lost his way for decades after leaving my tutelage. But he ended up... They say the master extracts potential from the student, but I fear I've ruined more. I turned Grace into a monster. Not a day goes by I don't regret. If only I had focused more on the... I swore I felt a nibble at my rod, but that was odd. You see, the mind is like a creek. You want to keep it healthy, You gotta keep the water. I decided to head to Sierra's shack and replace some fishing gear, hopefully restoring my brain. And to my surprise, said they were bored at the inn and asked if they could come fishing with while I was hammering out the finer points of fly casting with the captain.
Yep, apparently there's a legendary fish.
I'd heard rumors like this one before, and they always stank like fish guts. If I had a fin for every stud again, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't intrigued. Yes, you might say, because if this fella were half as good as me... After some consideration, I decided I would test my... I asked around town where I might find such a rival. The others garnered about the same information. No matter who we asked, all we learned was that he was skilled, able to catch 10 fish with one cast, with only tales of his escapades to feed us, and knew he needed to change. All of the stories were about places he... With that in mind, sure enough, after a few days' time, she gave us a map dotted like it had... So, the old fart got around, did he? After staring at the map for a while, I realized there was one place conspicuously with going off my hunch. Sierra Carte did a little more dig. The chase was on. Keep up if y'all can. Now, where's this fisher god?
Ah! We're monsters!
That's no good. Did we wake the spirit to this land?
Oh,
Jesse! One more!
You don't like it, now's our chance!
You're going back! Over just what the doctor ordered!
Good ancient snake. Ouroboros is! Are you really gonna fish in a dangerous place like this?
Of course! We're not dealing with your average angler here. This is a fisher god we're after. Now, he should have left supplies or tracks or something. Keep your eyes peeled for him.
Okay.
How's about we end it mercy back at him? School? Ever tried fighting a shadow?
Don't scare me like that!
Now, if I were a fisher god, this is probably the bait I'd use. Just a hunch, though. Careful now! Those spirits look angry!
Those are the ones that explode if you beat them too hard.
It's curtains!
You can't cut it! We'll all be dead!
Mercy me,
Oh, team? Too late, huh?
Empty bait now! Where are those varmints? Smell you later!
We've come pretty far. This heat is killing me.
Just a matter of time before we're there. Now hop to it. Huh? Looks like somebody came through here, and they were collecting magma worms. Read like a book. Hey!
Whoa! I see somebody! Maybe it's the fisher god!
Very well could be. Give him a hello and see what's up.
Hey there! Can we talk a minute? Hey, mister!
What's it?
What fish?
We fish, therefore they are. It's
The proverb left his lips like a right
I still don't...
And that's yours.
His answer was cryptic, but it had its own logic. Clear water or molten rock? Cast them.
Truer words were never spoken, friend.
Guess I've learned those unblinking eyes. That unrelenting hunger for the catch. His tools were top-notch. More importantly, however, he had the aura of a man born to hunt the seas. But I didn't come to admire, may we presume.
And to what?
What do you say to a little fish-off betwixt the two of us?
Ah, now there's a song to my...
And thus, the net.
Yeah? We've got lunch specials, good food, good prices.
Come to view the requests?
We fish, therefore they are. It was a profound statement. Hang your line thinking you won't catch anything, and you won't. But then again, we were sat up next to a lava lake.
Someone came for...
I strung a special hook, carved from a flame worm's tooth, to a special...
Whoa!
The captain, Vern, and Lear.
Just what the heck are you...
Vern's voice was filled with confusion. Oh, a bite!
Meat!
The fisher god and I started pulling up catch after catch, but the fish living inside the lava weren't no slouches neither. They were covered in armor like scales. So there we were, as our piles of molten fish gradually turned to him. Soon enough, our swordbacks told us it was... We counted each fish as we threw them back into the lava. Their physiology meant they couldn't be cooked. Don't want no sulfur in my sushi.
Should've known you'd be a...
Just trying to keep us a rare thing to meet your match. The smiles on our urn flew up to us.
You all old dudes fish like that?
The fisher god and I locked eyes.
Sounds like the...
Agreed.
Then you won't mind if...
He told us about a few local legendary fish that had eluded Cap. We agreed the winner would be the first to trap one of them fabled guppies. The old spark was coming. I just had to track me down a living. Turns out there were few eyewitness accounts of such fish. Guess they didn't like flashing their scales as much as the fisher god. But I knew they had to exist. Why would he go back to Sierra we went? She kindly asked the Fishermen's Guild and scholars to lend their assistance. They told us of a potential target. A beautiful fish, said to have the loveliest iridescent scales in the world. As if to tempt me more, we learned the locals called it the jewel fin. Catching it would be like grabbing a cloud. Surely it was a fool's errand. Too bad I was beside myself with determination. A being that existed somewhere between reality. Thus, in the coming days, whenever I found us, went to salt lakes where a sip of the water would dry you to the bone. Wandered around the captain, Lyria, and Vern and company. I wouldn't force them. I had planned to make the trip alone, and it was a good sign, honestly. They say anticipation exists right before accomplishment. Take a new sword technique, and this fish-off was a duel to the death for me and the fisher god. It would, but I knew I didn't have forever. We were in this sky. I decided my next search would be the last. I heard that somewhere inside was a spring turned monster den, relying on those exaggerated claims for guidance. I braved the forested depths to discover, but still, I cast my rod. The swamp remained quiet. I was neither overcome with anticipation nor I tugged the fish to the surface and began. Turns out none of the scholars' descriptions were quite. How's this for a cat? I proudly, its scales glistened in iridescent waves.
Slap my behind.
But of course, the fisher god was a large fish, obsidian in color.
Whoa, two legendary?
Both of our catches fit the criteria. Guess we couldn't complain, though. Not if still. Something had to be done.
I think both are amazing. Can't we just say you're both?
Guess two legendary fish don't make a chance. Nope, it didn't sit right with me. Our rivalry pushed the craft of fishing forward. Vern saw the determined.
You guys aren't gonna let this go, are you? Game's back on then.
Lyria pondered for a moment and made a suggestion.
How about whoever fishes
a genius suggestion. This island was under Avia's control. It was settled. We would go after a nod to one another. So, who's ready to shove off? Hope we come across a good fishing spot.
Is this blizzard? How are you gonna even see your rod?
Ancient technique.
Hey, why don't you cast from the bridge? You'll probably catch something.
Not a bad idea. Let's give it a whirl. My line ain't reaching from here anyway. Come on, let's move. There's a path somewhere around here that goes down. I can hear running water. You think this here hole has a river at the bottom?
Rush 'em!
We're just looking to fish. But if you want to be a sushi platter, step right up. Scoop back at them. They're platters.
The Daughtery grandpa thing's just an act.
Reel them in. People are like wine, Missy. They deepen and complexify with age. That hit the spot. Come on, tadpole. Let's school ya. That was a doozy. Mercy me.
You deserve the credit.
We are a force.
Can fish even live in weather this cold?
The colder the weather, the fatter the fish. Make some good barbecue.
Oh, that's neat.
Sky Center! It's curtains for ya! With fury!
It's time right behind you.
Looks like clear skies from here on out.
Just a little ray of sunshine.
Red like a played like a fiddle. Ooh, that spot looks swell. This place is perfect. Let's get started.
Oh, the crabs. Looks like the monsters caught our scent.
Curse their timing. Well, clean them up right quick. No running for me!
Sure.
Right on.
Okay.
They'll
Nice
hurt me as a
follow-through.
pick. This crew just can't be beat.
Agreed.
Red like a... They'll never see it coming.
In the field.
Just testing your lad. What's that?
I guess that's me. Keep on the good work. Of course.
Loud and clear. Reel him in.
That takes care of that.
I wouldn't be so sure. Looks like we got a big fella on our hands next.
For real? We don't have time for this. Do that too.
And judging by its bad attitude, I don't think it's gonna let us leave without a fight.
It's right there!
You know, this here's a sight for sore eyes. Sorry, Bub, but you're between us and our fishing spot. It's curtains for you.
Don't let him escape!
Oh, yeah! Where you
I
looking?
would love to get that ectoplasm under a microscope.
I don't
It's
like that.
curtains for you. How's about...
Just rip shut!
My lad! You will taste my blade! So long, ultimate flag! Oops, butterfingers. Very!
Showtime!
Ha! Try to keep up!
Together!
It's taken all that damage, but that hasn't slowed it down a bit. Better try to finish it off before we get exhausted.
I'll join up here. The final start.
Smell you later! Shine as one! Gale burst! Over here, you dunce! Went a little overboard, didn't we? Playing my best to gird your loins, folks!
Let's not do anything rash.
Reel him in! Smell you later! Just testing you, lad! Try to keep up!
What is next? Swift as thought. Certain as death.
Where you looking? That was a good one. Got my casting arm all warmed up. Oh, I hope we didn't scare off the fish. Ha! Wait a minute. It's over? Results day had arrived.
Feast your eyes.
The Fisher God took to the podium. The largest fish in this sky, but I on the other behold! Oh, these I sure wasn't gonna win through size. Next, the Fisher God and I began to fillet our cat.
Brave Beam is delicious. And how...
The shaman is just as good.
Everywhere we looked, there were people enjoying our... But since it was a competition, one after the other, the votes piled up. But there was a special reason I chose to serve the shaman.
Shall we call it?
I gotta hand it to you, Fisher God. While I was talking, a cute little scamp...
You didn't want to vote for...
It was too big and... The Fisher God's breath caught for a moment.
Yeah? Is your stomach growling? Then give it what it
Come to view the requests?
The Fisher God, but before I could humbly accept his withdrawal...
Look at the votes!
Not at all. Without this master of the...
He spoke from the heart. Moved me a...
It's ordinary fish, ones we consume daily, that bring us health and happiness. Delicacies shine because they're a rare treat. But well-being is built on something more than...
He continued.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, a child's smile will do more for a village's well-being.
A smirk sat on his lips as he turned to me.
Congratulations, Yadar. Even had I won this company, I've learned much from our duel.
Never in my days had I... And you, good sir, after the voting had concluded, both Brave Bream and Shalman were a hit. But, as all good things must come to an end, I turned to the Fisher God. A glee you want a race to see. We were no longer rivals. We were brothers of the rod. We were shopping at Sierro's when the murder apparently should have been waiting on us.
A certain rumor swam earlier this month. You see...
Vern and Lyria gasped. You know, I never meant to keep... Sounds like quite the handsome fellow.
The roar of fire, a cry of pain. Before me, the hewn carcass of a monster, yet smoking. I smothered the pity arising in my heart. I long for days when they say the skies are endless. Yet I have not seen any part of it unclouded by... Though I joined the crew, for we live in a time when all things are driven by violence. And yet, the captain said, for once, may we... The House of Wales had 3 sons. Bound as much by law, I had not yet seen many summers when war broke out in my mother, the Queen Heartzeloida, opened the gates of our...
Regardless of our lineage or...
It was through her example that we... And yet the same people she... I will never forget. I can yet hear the echoes of Aglavel's curses. See the stark white of Lamorak's face as his magic fit to the very end. How can an absence feel so heavy? What heart? I swore I would raise a new kingdom. Above the same grief, however, bent Aglavel on a different path. It is custom for the sons of our house to serve as knights in foreign countries. I went to Fiendrock, an ally of Wales, and there joined. Fiendrock made no distinction between me and its native, but no sea is so placid that storms do not brew. I set out on a journey to seek its cure. Never had I come across a greater fool. In the captain's eyes, there was no sky, and it was not I, nor Lancelot, nor Vane, nor my former commander Siegfried. But once the dust settled, we found traces of a foreign power that had first sown the seeds of still mourning for our mother. He was waging a war on war. Once again, I borrowed the aid of Aglavel's deeds. 'Tis a simple matter to speak words of censure. Thus I shall build my country and show my... Each day brings me nearer to my aim. Though I am not possessed of any land, surely we will sail over some... My greatest care is the safety of the crew. So I have resolved to travel alongside and defend. With each Skydom I visit, I survey both the lands and the people, hoping to extract the worthiest hearts as vassals for me. Though the earth is ever filled with rich soil and strong rock, true gems are few and far between. They had no army, and peace. But if there is one thing I have learned from the captain and crew, it is the city folk, however,
The Defense Corps? Full of bums and...
Better off calling them the Defense Corpses for the fat lot of help they are.
Yet these were dangerous times for Folka. The people looked to the Defense Corps for protection.
We don't have the resources to combat this threat. Take shelter until the danger is...
And so the city grew to trust vagabond Sky, though I had little hope of finding a vassal among this ragged band. When I build my kingdom, it will need to be governed by its own council. Is there any prevention? Where does the first crack fall? My road to the Defense Corps.
This world is being drowned in tears of suffering!
It began when I happened upon a man in the city streets, preaching the creed of Avia. Though we had overthrown the main body of the church at Seed Hollow Castle, still, now they haunted Folka. But the city folk had learned that Avia would sacrifice anything.
Get out of here!
We aren't inviting tragedy.
As the throng railed, unease stirred within me. The adherents of Avia would march on...
I came to offer you salvation. If you won't drink...
Voices soared, and the air grew heavy with the threat of violence. Yet the Defense Corps, who were charged... You there. I asked a man why mediate...
I'd be surprised if they did show. Without Mr.
Though I had expected it. Seeing the proof...
Silence! Now it's clear.
What are you doing?
An Avieth Crusader, lifting an eye, but I seized his arm. But strike him. I would not suffer the...
You miscreant!
You speak of threats. You would force your doctrine on the unwilling with an iron fist.
Blasphemy!
Avieth soldiers surrounded me. I had hoped you would listen to reason. With a hand on the hilt of my sword, I waited for them to attack. But like craven dogs that bark loudest when their quarry is far ahead.
We won't fight you in the city. No. Too much hassle, please.
I could not hold back a laugh. Daring very well.
We'll wipe that smirk.
The Crusaders.
He's going to get him.
Call the Defense Corps! Even those worms!
Frightened voices whirled behind me. I did not quiet them, for though 3,000 ants of Avia could... Set out.
Death to all who interfere with Avia's sacred mission!
You have abandoned mercy for violence and wisdom for bigotry. How dare you call your cause sacred?
A demon! Some evil must be feeding his flames!
Call for backup! Tell them to bring the droid up! Just one word! Why can't we crush him?
Strength of will is reflected in strength of arms. Good. Summon all your forces. It will save me the trouble of seeking them out.
Reporting for duty!
You're finished now, interloper!
That hubris will be your downfall.
Meet your doom!
On your knees. Back to the... 'Tis strange. Though a great battle rages on their doorstep, the Corps do not appear. Do they sleep? I will not leave those beasts free to...
My poor brethren. You won't like what's coming to you, interloper.
It's Brother Avalon! The redhead's done for!
Bend to my will, or break... It's over! Now for ruin! On your knees.
Back to the void.
Wait. I know you. The Lord of Flames.
I see my name has reached even the dregs of Zega Grande.
His fire is the fire of hell.
slink back to your holes.
Damn you.
The Crusaders took the weakest. I sheathed my sword. Judging
There's one over there!
Alerted by a voice, I looked up to see a group of soldiers hurrying towards me. Their livery was not of Avia, and they carried their weapons with the grace of a schoolboy wielding his first quill. I had a good guess of who they were. After they had ringed me about with spear points and—
No funny moves, or we'll—
Who are you? And what—
Of course you don't recognize us, or you'd be shaking in your fancy boots. Listen up.
Better come quietly.
For a moment, amazement rested from— Surely you do not believe—
Don't play dumb! Who—
What did you— I had always known my garb to be striking. So, for on the midnight field of battle, the general must ever be the brightest star. My own armor was well worn, and had shielded me from—
We're taking you back to the station.
What's so funny?
Nothing. In truth, this was a matter more to weep than to laugh at. The proud guards of Folka. It was a pitiful sight. Defense corpses, indeed. And so I was marched back to the—
We've got lunch specials. Good food.
Hello there.
The Defense Corps questioned me at their guardhouse.
All right, fess up. Tell me exactly—
I repelled a group of crusaders that threatened—
Shut your mouth!
That was all Captain Douglas. Has guilt—
If you're trying to scare—
I am trying to help you. Now take heed. As keepers of peace, you are given the authority to take prisoner. I went on with hardly a— Today you failed your duty. You did not come when your people were in peril. Had I not been there, blood would have— I let my final words fall. You have dishonored your— Color fled from the soldiers.
Hey, Captain, we did kind of arrest him for just—
Don't let him get to you!
Now the soldiers, they had to keep quiet about my capture, said one, or there could be trouble. If only they had not delayed after hearing reports of violence. So on and on they argued until at last, Douglas—
All right, fine!
No. Seeing the soldiers at a loss, since you have taken my time, I now ask you to share some of yours.
Why should we tell you, huh?
Because I desire— For a moment, Douglas.
Come on, Captain. Just give him what he wants. Yeah, I don't think—
Okay!
And so, the captain and soldiers of the Corps—
After the war,
this peace, like a deep sleep, had dulled the mind.
Still, we did all right in the beginning. You probably don't know him, but we used to have a Mr.
The strength of Roland was their fortress, to which the Corps could rally if the battle went in.
So, there we were, a group of idiots who could barely tell the—
Self-loathing, see—
I know what everyone thinks of us. I know what they call us. But do you think we're wimps?
Captain Douglas, you've been trying to—
I sighed. Why, very well. For your sakes and mine, I will— Maybe by rebuilding this fallen band. The next morning, I paid a visit to the Defense Corps.
You're that redhead.
To supply you with counsel. The soldiers could only look on. Order is the basis of any kingdom, great or small. To this, the soldier— You told me you cannot fight because Roland is gone. You are There followed a moment of silence. Then the Corps encircled—
We didn't ask for your advice.
Grab him! Throw him out!
But I fixed them with— I have said nothing you did not already know. If you can see your faults, why not mend them?
That's it! You won't shut up? Then we'll make—
I evaded the soldier's blow with a step, wielding force to stifle dissent. Already you overstep your— In one wave, the whole Corps rushed upon me, but they were like water breaking upon—
Who the hell are you?
Only a passing Skyfarer. Tell me, Captain Douglas, Are you ashamed you...
All right, Rubala.
There is no metal so firm it cannot be wrought. Very well, then. Lend me your title, and I will show you how warriors are forged.
Huh?
And so I became the one-time captain of the Corps. Training began the following day. Arms maintenance. Of course, I was met with some resistance. There was talk of banishing me from Folka. As long as they loved their city, I would grant them the strength and knowledge.
When you hear of trouble, act swiftly. But above all, seek to prevent. Take censure, but reserve judgment. Focus, always be ready to defend your people. Though peace may...
Within days, a new luster could be seen. The training of the Defense Corps...
Guess you know what you're doing.
Though they barked and whined, former Captain Douglas and his... I proposed a patrol. The foremost duty of a guard. I looked sharply at Doug. Why do you waver?
Why do you think? We've been losers our whole lives.
As a soldier, you must not weigh pride against duty. All came to pass as Douglas feared. In the behind me, I could feel...
Do not falter. Remember, shame should not hinder, but rather drive you to do good. The eye sees...
There was no more I could do for them. The Corps would have to
Hey, look! It's the March of the Freeloaders!
These barbed words were slung at us before the tavern. I slowed my pace. It was true that the Corps had brought this scorn upon their heads. Turning, I walked...
You gotta...
The man shook. Forgive us. It is the part of a leader to bear the faults of his followers. I am now the captain of the Corps, and speak on their behalf. We have failed you in the past. Amazement flashed into the man's eyes. Douglas's voice.
It's our fault you had to...
Enough. I held up a hand. Power is ever conjoined with responsibility. I did no more. At the guardhouse, the men...
Put your back into your swings! Stand firm! Yes, sir!
Their voices were clear, and their movements...
Bad news!
The day that would test the valor of the Corps came sooner than...
Report. An armed group thought to be connected with Avia is occupying the mines of Tempeel. They've taken...
It would be a dangerous rescue for the Corps, who were yet untried in combat.
Captain Percival, let's fight back! We're ready!
No. I sensed something. It had been the aim of the ruined church to bolster their ranks with new converts. Surely it was not for ransom. The adherents had to be, of course, trap or no. The Corps could easily overthrow Avia, and so I said, do not let confidence consume your wisdom. Your duty is to protect your people. I saw that my warning had disheartened the soldiers. But glory must not be bought with blood. Drawing myself up, I strove. Your city needs you. There is much work to be done. Learn what you...
Yes, sir! But Captain Percival, the clock is ticking. What if...
I could not hold...
Do not worry.
First, to secure the hostage.
Wait! That hair! It's the rooster head from Volca! The armed brethren!
Centuries. You will wish you never saw me.
Okay,
Great boon.
We can't lose focus.
Fine.
What?
There must be more of them.
How'd you get in here? Where are the lookouts? Fake leap on the job?
You'll never know!
Bend to my will.
Or break!
There are too few of them. Their main force must be headed for Folka. Perhaps I should turn back. No. I must have faith in my comrades. All the hostages are behind bars. At least they will be kept safe from the battle.
Who are you?
You may know me as the Lord of Flames.
Are you here to save us? The Lord of... It's the man Brother Avalon warned us about! Brother Avalon! So we meet again, on your...
Now, but unfortunately for you, this battle won't go like the last one.
Not many who survive my flames dare to face them again. You are either brave or a fool.
Rain on the hills.
Kneel! Forward! It's over!
I can't believe it! They're winning 100 to 1! How? Have the stars forsaken us?
The stars do not decide our fate. We do. In turning to treachery and force, you built your own tomb.
Somebody please silence this man!
Impressive fireworks.
A lovely opening act to the fall of Folka.
The rivers run red! That's right! Sir Knight, we have to go back to Folka!
Folka is in safe hands. It will take more time to bind these Crusaders than it did to defeat them. I bound the...
Why, here's a stalwart little...
Keep silent.
Then I guess you won't believe me when I say the mines were just a diversion. We sent out...
The preacher continued to lay bare his...
I know this backcountry is filled with scurrying field mice. You Skyfarers were the only real threat. If we could keep you busy...
Even now, you know not of what you speak. I had already made out that the mines were not your true purpose. If you will not trust my words, then perhaps you will trust your eyes. We had come to the gate.
Captain Percival! You should have seen us, Captain!
There, trussed up before the city walls, were the remaining Crusaders of Avia. The soldier... With that, the preacher fell to his knees and spoke no more.
Yes, can I help you?
Several days later, I walked into...
The captain's here!
In a moment, the soldiers were lying at ease. My friend, with the space of a deep breath, the soldiers did not stir.
Captain Percival.
That title is no longer mine. I turned back toward the body. I am but a traveler. My allegiance lies with a distant country. A kingdom of peace that I shall one day build. But I believe that all who dwell in the skies are brothers and sisters. Though our time together was short, it was an honor to serve with you. You have shown that we need not be chained to our pasts. That valor can...
No, Sir Percival. Me too!
Mirth welled up within me. And so, bidding my friends farewell, I took one... It was many months, but this city is still the same. A gentle breeze danced with the grass. Sunlight snakes dwell even in the quietest of gardens. I was once captain of the Vulcan Defense Corps, and in my heart...
Wait.
Well met. I was not surprised we crossed paths. I am glad to see you...
We sure are. Even got a generation of new recruits.
I responded with a... It will be some time yet. But I
You're gonna make it, Percival.
I regarded Captain Douglas and his corps. Here were soldiers that had once lived in shame, but courage had been kindled in their hearts.
My dream is to become a hero. I know. Kind of stupid, right? I get that you can't just snap your fingers and poof, you're in a cape with your first initial plastered over your chest. But let's face it, the world we live in could really use some heroes. It's like every day I come across some new, sad story. Where's the harm in wishing for more sunshine? Anyways, I know heroes really do exist. I was saved by one. Well, saved might be an exaggeration, but I was a timid little squirt, and he was always there for me. He was just so darn cool. I wanted to be brave like him. I wanted to protect people like him. Eventually, my hero left our hometown to become a knight. If I was going to follow in his footsteps, then that meant I wasn't sure if a weak crybaby like me would ever amount to much. But hey, whoever changed the future by getting hung up on the past? You probably already figured this out, but this hero I've been talking to, and let me tell you, he's like something out of a fairy tale. Brave, smart, strong. Back in the day, all the grown-ups would call him a prodigy. If it wasn't for him, I might have never become this man. Do I still have a long... Here's a story from way before. One day, I was waiting for Lancy at a harbor in Fiendra. The sound of the surf, which had been snooping around, I found out the true dragon Fafnir had returned. My best friend was about to march into the jaws of a literal fire. So there I was, rushing along. Apparently, the crew was also headed for the capital. Except, I wasn't. I talked about the divide between me and Lance. For every baby step forward I took, when this whole Fafnir business had just driven everything home. Everyone had a What? I didn't get to whine when my best friend was out there risking. Lancy's a born fighter and a genius. He's also human. The pressure on him is crushing. I had to get strong enough to support him. Hearing this, the captain asked if I wanted to join the crew. Of course, I would never quit the White Dragons, but maybe a temporary change in direction was what I needed. I'd run myself into a rut. New scenery, fresh perspective. All part of a healthy breakfast for a growing boy like me. But I digress. Back to the Fafnir problem. All you really need to know is, it's spiraled way out of control. The fate of the kingdom hangs in the balance. Though we'd been fighting a dragon, I ended up learning a lot about people. Their strengths, weaknesses, what scared us, what made us tick. My eyes were open to a lot of things. And not all of it pretty. But I'll take it. Because it's the sum of our experiences, the good and the bad, that make us who we are. Fast forward now. Don't get me wrong. Rank, titles, all that stuff's just words, you know? What kid doesn't like getting a gold star? And this was a big, shiny gold star that said, "Congratulations, you're on your way to becoming a hero." Plus, now I got to be part of all the important security meetings. If Lancey needed help, I'd be there once. I was feeling pretty confident in myself. Vice captains have it tough, but I was more than happy to do the work. It wasn't all smooth sailing, though. After a few months, some nasty rumors began circulating through the barracks. People were saying I got my job through nepotism, just because I was friends with Lancey. It was kind of a dark time. I'd been trying to come up with things that I accomplished when I realized there were none. At least, nothing that I'd accomplished on my own. The captain, as always, lent me when the time came. Two, burlier figures were standing beside the captain. Siegfried and Percival. They were there to spar with me and judge, once and for all, if I deserved to be vice captain of the White. I definitely teared up a little. These were two of the people I looked up to most in the world. They could take whatever I threw at them. My hopes, my insecurities, the lessons I learned. I put everything I had into that battle. And in return, Siegfried and Percival gave me everything they had. Fighting the two of them was as intense as you'd expect. But once I got over my throbbing calves and aching deltoids, I felt really lucky. I had good people looking out for me. They showed me how far I'd come, and I could go the distance. I went back to the castle determined to hide everything. But you know how best friends are. Trying to keep secrets from them is like trying to hide an onion in a muffin. He cornered me. So, with nowhere left to run, I spilled the beans. I felt horrible. I had the greatest friends in the skies telling me they believed in me. And still, I couldn't believe in myself. Lancey waited for me to get everything off my chest before speaking.
Vayne, I recommended you for vice captain because I considered you the most qualified. The motion passed because the king and the white dragons felt the same way.
And just like that, a weight was lifted. Seems like all I really needed was to know my best friend trusted me. And now that we re-established this trust, there was only one thing left to do. Beat each other silly. We snuck out to the training grounds in the middle of the night and sparred until our legs gave out. Then, we lay spread. Those little twinkling dots were so inspiring. My dream of becoming a hero might be far off. So this next adventure began on a day in Zega Grande like any other. The sun was shining.
Long live the...
Yes, the fierce cry of a child in its natural...
I've never seen you around. Knights, assemble! Cannonball formation!
They came hurtling at me, faster than—
We're the Blue Sky Knights, servers of justice and roasters of villains. Who goes there?
But all jokes aside, these tykes were adorable. Reminded me of my own days playing Knights and Dragons. With both hands in the air, I thought long and hard about— I for sure didn't want to pull out my usual, "I'm Ving, Vice Captain of the White Dragons." I mean, capturing a real knight while playing make-believe? But it also would— Then, a candle— I'm Ving, the Wayfarer—
Wait, that means you're an expert at brewing stews and—
I blinked. Had an what? Oh yeah, I pulled out a bag of cookies. Which may or— Anyways, past that, yes. Before you say anything, I do realize that bribing the future defenders of our—
You have some potential, Sir Chef. I'll let you cook for us as our square. I'm Skip, by the way.
We were on to headhunting already. I'm honored, Captain Skip. Oh no. They were hitting me with the pout of despair and the eyes of the puppy dog. I bit my lip. This little game wouldn't take too long, right? Still, it has always been my dream to cook for the Blue Sky Knights. Squire Vic— I just didn't have it in me to— After dubbing me in a formal ceremony.
We got our chef. Next, we have to search for a base.
The rest of the kids responded with a roused—
Hey, Sir Chef!
I saluted. Couldn't disobey. Anyways, I still had time this— I was gonna find these kids. Yeah! They won't know what hit them. Captain said there's some good spots around here. Just gotta make sure they're safe. Whoops. Looks like this place is already occupied. Done and dusted. Now, let's look for safer real estate. More monsters. This is definitely not a kid-friendly joint.
Up and away! Oh, no, you don't! You're all going down! Let's fly!
Clancy and I used to love exploring the woods. Woohoo! It's a party up in here! But it looks like I wasn't invited.
All down! Feel the storm!
And now that that's over, back to the search. Very nice. Please don't let there be monsters. Please don't let there be monsters. Hot pancakes, you scared me. Man, bet this place is near a migration route.
go!
And the hunt continues. No monsters, perfect size and location? Wait, I think I see a path on the other side of that thicket. I bet it leads to Folka. Captain Skip! I led the kids to us. Was right next to a big thoroughfare, so they wouldn't have to worry. Still, the place was surrounded by some nifty bushes and trees that Shan, judging from all the frolicking, Captain Skip pulled out a handmade flag that he...
This land is now the
Sure, the thought. Technically, knights don't have hideouts flashed into my mind, but you can't expect kids to know that. Anyway, for the time being, I was in what had to be one of the top 10 hideouts in all the skies.
We've got lunch specials, good food, good prices.
Come to view the requests?
Every time the crew touched down in Folka, I would make a beeline for the Blue Sky hideout. Half of it was me being a responsible adult and wanting to make sure the Tykes were okay. But there was also the call of duty. Wouldn't be much of a chef's square if I let the troops go hungry, would I? Don't worry, I didn't stuff the kids with just carbs. I also fed them knowledge. Things like what fruit to eat, what shrooms and plants were poisonous, how to tell if a flower had edible nectar, and where to hide from monsters. Lesson number 1, though, was how to locate drinkable water. The kids were living on the edge of a forest, after all. One day, this information could save their lives. For now, at least, it was all in good fun, and the Tykes were loving it. Whenever I gave them a demonstration, they'd rush to repeat it. 9 times out of 10, they'd fail, but instead of getting discouraged, they started a race to see who could get it right fastest. And I'd always get this strange feeling that I'd traveled back in time. Back to when I was a squire of Fiendrock, just beginning to discover the world.
Hey, Sir Chef, see that bug up there? You think you can catch it?
Gotcha. All right, gather around, knights. So, this little guy is super good at sensing monsters. Whenever danger approaches, he's the first to hide. There's actually a rhyme about it. Goes, bug on tree, monster free. Bug in ground, monsters around. Those kids were the most inquisitive students you could hope to meet. Soaked up knowledge like a sponge. If I had to choose just one lesson I wanted them to take away, though, it would be know when to ask for help. Because reaching out to others isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of trust. And without trust, you can't build an order of knights or any relationship. Growing up doesn't mean you have to solve all your problems alone. I hoped the kids wouldn't lose sight of that, as I once did. One sunny afternoon, I was heading to the woods with the Tykes when I saw a boy crouched in the shadow of the city walls. Who's he? An innocent question, but Captain Skip glowered and folded his arms.
Just some weirdo from Tempeal. He always looks like his balloon just popped. Once, I asked him if he wanted to be a knight, and he started crying. It's probably better to just leave him alone.
Skip ended this bit with a snort that said, "And that's that." But I couldn't help glancing back at the boy. There was something about him that seemed so lonely. Hey, Captain Skip, this is just my humble opinion, but isn't the duty of a knight to help people? Especially those who kinda sorta look like they might be in need. At this, Skip's face puckered up so hard, you'd have thought I squeezed lemon juice into his mouth. I got where the little dude was coming from, though. It wasn't always easy to do the right thing. But that's what made it so rewarding.
You're not wrong, Sir Chef. Defending justice means defending the weak.
Skip dashed over to the city walls. After what looked like a pretty one-sided conversation, he came back with the boy in tow.
Say hello to the newest member of the Blue Sky Knights!
I couldn't keep from smiling. In that moment, Skip and the lonely boy were the mirror image of Lancey and me when we were kids. It didn't take long for Noobs and the rest of the Tykes to become fast friends. Oh, that's the nickname they gave to the boy from Tempeal, by the way. Noobs. Within weeks, Noobs had transformed into one of the brightest and most active kids in the city. But he'd had a reason to be sad. Turned out, Noobs had lost his parents in the Tempeal incident. He'd moved to Folka after being adopted by relatives. Poor kid deserved some sweetness in his life, after all that bitterness. I did what I could for him, bringing my best creations to the Blue Sky hideout. Today's special was one of Lancey's favorites, Vane's Paradise Pudding. Smooth, creamy, and so very rich. The sugar had apparently put the kids in a talkative mood. They'd barely gotten their spoons out of their mouths when they started competing for the title of Best Food Commentator. Eventually, this evolved and Captain Skip claimed it was the cookies I'd given them the day we met, because they were seasoned with Even Noobs was eager for a piece of the action. Warmed my heart. But you know how it is with this world. The skies are clearest right before the... My next visit to Folka? I could tell something was wrong as soon as I stepped. Turns out, it was the Tykes. They had gone missing. The news...
What do we do?
I'll find them, I promise. It started with Noobs. After about 6 hours, Skip put together a... Now a full day had passed, and all four, Noobs, Skip, the whole time he was talking, Ace was shaking from head to toe. You did good, Ace. I went straight to the Grand Cipher. Needed to... Those kids were my friends, and the future of the skies. Hold on, guys. I'm coming for you.
There have to be traps. Keep your eyes peeled.
This fruit, it's still fresh. They have to be near. They'll be fine. I know they will.
Out of my way! Now!
It's up! You're all mine!
I owe you, Narmaya!
I was only protecting the crew.
All wrapped up!
taught them how to camouflage themselves in this grass. They probably head out for monsters around here.
You don't think the monsters have already gotten to them?
No, they're okay. They have to be.
I'll take the Vanguard. Any trouble, would you?
Oh, no, you don't! Ah!
I'm coming!
Malcolm!
Hey, pick on someone your own size.
Sir Chef!
You guys aren't hurt, right? Just wait a little longer. This will be over in a jiffy.
The tide
Oh, my!
Wind and
It's
the
all
glory.
coming up big.
Time for launch! Feel
The time is right.
Go time!
Strong as the earth, and yet gentle as a breeze.
You, talking to me or meditating?
Pass away.
You shut it half! Get away!
Wind in the fields, the tide rises. Dance of the pink petals. Suck it up.
Save my tail.
Float. Watch out for their next attack.
Okay, try not to die!
You don't scare us. What a mess.
Find a hurricane!
Snack time!
Fantastic.
Oh yeah!
Swift as thought. Certain as death.
Want a treat?
Now's our chance.
Olivia!
How did Sir Chef go? It's like he's a real knight!
Follow this crew anywhere. Float. The tide rises. Here. The pond
Like what a leader! No more
I hate being a hassle.
Take a hike!
Pass away. One stroke, 1,000 deaths. Butterfly effect. Moonrise.
Oh, no, you don't!
Life is Fairies. Watch this. Foam on the sea.
We lift that place together, stay together!
Fame.
Let's end this! Ruin pain! Dogs! And we all drop!
Ours next.
Just shut it half!
Shine as one. Tide of chaos.
No way! He won! Looks like the little squirts are doing just fine.
Yeah, I think I need a moment.
Thanks. You did.
Skip still had enough in him to put on. As I checked the rest of the tykes for injuries, I could feel that familiar tingle in my tear ducts. But I'm so glad you pulled through. Captain Skip immediately lightened the mood by trying.
Whoa! I had no.
Ern, who'd been hovering.
You think those tree trunks are just for show? They'd the white dragons? Wait.
Oh no. The upturned eyes have betrayed. I mean, yeah. I had an actually lie to them, but...
Wow, a real knight? You need to let me interrogate you. No wonder you kick butt.
I should have known.
Is your stomach growling? Then give it.
Come to view the requests?
Wish I could say all's well that ends well, but unfortunately. All right, spill it.
Noobs was in trouble, and you know...
Skip spoke. I felt my heart drop. It's the duty of a knight. But before I could chase this dark train of thought
All those survival skills... Yeah, thanks to you, we were able to properly...
But now was not the time to... Do you realize how worried everyone was? If anything bad happened, your friends would be hurt big time. The Tykes chimed in for this.
Know when to ask for help.
Okay. No. Crouching, so I was eye to eye with the... It's a promise. Okay? I recently returned to Folka to find that, according to Skip, they were in big trouble as punishment. The kids didn't look too upset, though. Au contraire.
Today, we formed...
Yes, they'd found a loophole. I mean, what are the grown-ups...
No one's found the hideout yet. I say...
Well, kids and their stupid dream. You know, I never thought that one day... Because what if you set a bad example? It's enough to make you want to run and hide. But that's and with the best friends in the skies looking out for me...
I can no longer recall when I first met the captain. All I can say is our paths crossed in dark times, when nights were sleepless, and the wind whispered with insidious intent. Fiendrock, my homeland, was crumbling from within, consumed by the weakness of her own people. I ventured abroad to seek help from our neighbors, but this rendered me blind to schemes hatched in the heart of our court. When I returned, the adders sprung, and I found myself falsely convicted of regicide. Disgraced, I fled the kingdom and wandered for a while in the pathless wild. Perhaps I would still be there, slowly. Thus concluded the greater part of my tale. But our journey, like all great journeys, has passed through both sorrow. I've always found the meeting of people to be miraculous. Throughout the course of history and on into the future, for any two souls to come together is as wondrous as look. Do not know if it was fate that brought me and the captain together. I intend to sail with the crew to whatever end, even to the bottom of the skies. In my youth, I was vain and headstrong. I shunned that was not to be. I was discovered by Yosef, the former king of Fiend. Though at that time, I slew monsters solely out of malice. He knighted me, and under his guidance, I learned about honor and friendship. I found meaning in it. But in our world, love is inextricable from grief. New friends and brothers were lost. People that I trusted turned upon me. Loyalty had imbued me with... This isn't to say that I regret becoming a knight. Lancelot, Vayne, Percival, the friendship of those three alone is worth any price. I learned the greatest lesson of all from them, that no matter how much is lost, we may always find hope in younger generations. They are to think all this was set into motion by a single meeting on the side of the road. As I grow older, it becomes clear that is why I swore to repay him in the only way I know how, by dedicating what is left of my life to the future of his country. I know King Yosef would not want me to grieve overly much for him, but he turned me from under his rule. The base were ennobled, tall towers were raised,
and withered fields burst. The royal consul, Isabella, covetous of his power, killed the king. And for weeks, I was hunted by soldiers I had trained, but my name was now reviled, scrubbed like a stain from the halls of I served the crown because I loved my country. The same reason for which King Yosef wore it. I would not let our home waste away. I returned to the marches, where I dwelt. I worked alone, and even Lancelot was kept from my counsels. My silence was not due to a lack of trust. It would have been impossible for me to reach Lancelot unseen. Lancelot was, and is, still young. And young minds are easily molded. If I was to leave the protection, he wavered, as we all do. But fortunately, they were his light, an anchor. And with their help, Lancelot navigated the swirling. I had fulfilled King Yosef's last wish, and Lancelot had come into his own. It was time for me to step down. Zega Grande. My travels aboard the Grand Cipher have taken me to many. I've sought after magical seashells, with the power to heal kingdoms. I've crossed blades with legendary warriors. But no matter how far I roam, my thoughts when we alight in a foreign land, if I'm ever seeking new allies for it must seem like I have a mind of cold iron and steel, driven by thoughts of politics and war. And I have no excuse, except to say, once a knight, always a knight. Zega Grande had almost fallen. Now, as its people rebuilt, I desired to learn whether their fortresses were stronger. And
What you doing?
Vern appeared at my shoulder. I'm gathering a dragon.
Man.
He wasn't incorrect. I did want to...
Hey, what have I helped?
Vern was indeed light and fit.
Come
You certainly, if anything, I felt that the captain, Lyria... All right, Vern.
Finally, something...
Vern twirled...
So, what exactly...
It's a little abstract. I would like to learn about the values of this country. Why...
Yeah...
Take Fiendrock, for example. Our king and people stand for fellowship.
What,
Don't worry. I gave Vern what I'm not here to conduct a coup. I only seek information.
Diplomacy? Aw, dude, I think something just happened.
With two flaps of his wings, Vern lifted Seed Hollow's military force.
Right behind you!
A group of onlookers had gathered by the gate.
A monster?
Let us follow them. Nothing is so revealing of a person's... We passed out of the stone city and trudged for a while among grass and dirt.
Spotted him!
As he spoke, let's see here. I crept beneath the shadow of dappling leaves.
I don't think they can
The
win.
warriors...
Captain, we can't stand your ground. If these monsters...
They were scattered. Vern. With that, I grasped the...
We gotta hold on!
They're moments away from annihilation. Come and face me!
The hell are you? Get out of here! This is no place for civilians!
With all due respect, you are not in a position to reject my aid. Focus on keeping yourself safe. This is power!
All right, fine.
Surrender!
That sword of yours better not just be for show.
Don't let him... Don't...
How is he mowing down all these feet?
Push through!
Watch out for the shooters!
Let our blades do This is power! Don't mistake mercy! Captain, he's dancing circles around the half-beasts.
Yeah, I can see that. Stop gawking and tend to the wounded.
We're gonna make it.
Heads up! Got monsters coming in from above!
Ready. Huh. Push through! Bear witness! Harry! Your end is nigh! The next wave is coming. Quickly, get to safety.
Bad news. goblin soldier marching this way!
There's no way he can handle that alone. Who's still got
Great.
juice in them? Back into the fray!
No, stay put. We'll not be able to win with you as a burden.
The brave awaits!
They got some sort of cargo! Watch out
You're
for the
finished! This is power! Push through!
You cleared them out!
You are all safe now.
I can't believe my eyes. Is that guy really human?
We could have handled them alone. You know we could have. Think of how hard we've trained.
The cry of the last monster.
Oh, man. They're lucky.
Danger averted. The soldiers from Seed Hollow gathered themselves and limped to fort.
You guys must be...
Vern wasn't quite...
So you know your way around a sword. Great.
What?
We're professional soldiers.
Number one? That's a lot.
That's enough. The dragon looked ready to spout fire. I'm sorry. With a bow, I turned and left that shadowy glade. I did not relax my grip on Vern.
Yeah? Is your stomach growling? Then give it what it wants.
Hello there. Come again.